is compliance still an unspoken goal in modern ABA?
Is compliance an unspoken goal?
I don't think it's unspoken. I think it's pretty much, following directions is important.
It is important. And
yeah,
sometimes, uh, disengaging from an unsafe behavior is a really good thing.
yeah, super important.
I also think, and I know you and I have talked about this a lot in the past, but I'm non-compliant. I've done several non-compliant things today.
And I dig that about you, Sarah.
And I think having those expectations that we're never going to get to zero non-compliance, and that's a good thing,
It is
because
a good thing.
we want to have bodily autonomy. We want to be
Yes.
able to say, no, I'm not going to do that.
And we teach those skills.
We do teach those
We
skills.
teach, no, I don't want
I
to.
don't like that.
I don't like that.
I don't want to do
I need
that.
personal space.
I'm not ready to do that.
Yeah, more time, please.
Yeah.
We teach these self-advocacy skills.
Yeah.
And sometimes parents are like, he's saying no a lot. It's like, that's a good thing.
Yeah, we
Because
like that.
clinically, actually, you don't want total 100% compliance, because that would be extraordinarily unsafe for
Very
that
dangerous.
individual.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that is a big concern that people have about ABA because of things that have happened in the past, where maybe there has been an emphasis on total compliance with certain approaches. We don't do that. And again, I think if you're seeing total compliance,
Yeah, that's scary.
something is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Big Brother.
Yeah.
That's it. That's diving into sci-fi a little bit. No one should be doing total compliance.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think following 1-step, 2-step, 3-step directives is important, because it teaches skills, like important skills,
Like look both ways before you cross the street.
yeah, and how to make a pizza.
Yeah.
You can't make a pizza without learning directions.
That's
you know.
true.
But and safety, of course, like look both ways, and
And don't touch the stove when it's hot and things like that.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. But,
don't mouth things that are on the ground,
right.
things that can have serious consequences. And I think when we look at compliance and talk about it, we have to look at what the natural consequences would be if they didn't get a skill.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I think it would kind of be very interesting to have a child develop with a parent never telling them no. I wonder what that child would be like. It's like,
I
because
think,
that's compliance, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I say no,
yeah.
and you have to respect that,
Yeah.
right?
There's a lot of movies actually where I think
Like,
that
are
is
we-
displayed.
Are we talking Veruca Salt? Is
Yeah,
that-
Veruca Salt, Fing at the Sundance Film Festival had a little girl and also a grown man in that show that had never heard no. Super fun characters, but yes, important skill to learn.
Yeah, especially if you're your child or you are an experiential learner. These are learners that want to do things and want to test boundaries, and that was the kind of kid I was. And so compliance of don't do that was really important, because I could have gotten really hurt.
Yeah.
And so there is a lot of safety things, like car safety, stay close to me when we're in the mall, like
Mhm.
these type of safety skills that are
Yeah.
important, that compliance has to, and there's lawful compliance. You have to wear your seatbelt. You have to go to school.
Mhm.
Like,
You have to keep your hands to yourself.
yeah.
You can't just take things from other people, right? So there's important safety and social implications for learning. Certain things are a must.
Yeah, and I
to
think
comply
that's
with.
true in
Yeah.
all parenting. Like,
Mhm.
you can't eat your poop. Like, these are universal laws, because you'll get really sick. So does this fall within ABA, or does this just fall within parenting? I think it's kind of equal.
I think it's both.
I don't think
Yeah.
ABA teaches more no skills or compliance skills. I think, children need boundaries and safety skills, and
And
they-
also they need to be able to say, I don't want to.
yeah, and that self-advocacy and that
Yeah.
autonomy is crucial.
Yeah.
And I think that's really where the complaints come
I
in.
think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't teach even in language, and we never did. I think the DTT model, which is discrete trial training, really teaches rote responses.
Yeah.
And very early on, our practice was like, oh no, you can say, instead of saying like, hi, how are you? And I get that. And there is a roteness there to the DTT in language sometimes as a side effect. I think when you teach multiple exemplars, it allows that autonomy for the individual. I can say, hey, how's it going? Hi, how you doing today? What's up? You know, I can say all these different greeting variations, but I get to choose.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the way you look at compliance in treatment is through choice making.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, okay, question number 5. Does ABA support neurodiversity or is it just suppressing it?
I think this is another one where we have seen change, which is great. In the past, did it suppress neurodiversity? I think you could argue that it had in the
I
past.
think you can. Yeah. I think I can see that in the 70s in the DTT trials. There's a lot of,
Yeah,
but is it revisionist? Are we looking back,
exactly.
50 years to say that was wrong,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at a time when expectations were different for people to interact in the world. Now I think there's more understanding, there's more acceptance, and ideally it should be neurodiversity affirming because what we're
Yeah.
doing is looking at that individual and what their goals are for themselves. Not our goals for them, but
Yeah.
what do they want? And we're just helping to facilitate that.
Yeah. And I'm about independence and functionality. I want skills that matter.
Yeah.
I don't want to work on skills that aren't going to promote independence and fostering independence. Language is such an important skill, like I keep saying. So, is it important to teach? I think so. I think language is a pivotal behavior. It gets you so many different varieties of reinforcement. And I also think going back to, when it started, and Temple Grandin's video movie does a great job of showing this. It's like it was kind of rare.
Mhm.
It was much rarer than it is now. There is much more acceptance, and that's a great thing.
It is a great thing. Yeah.
Because even with ABA, it's not going to change your personality and it's not going to change your diagnosis.
Mm-hmm. And I think what this question often gets to is a topic of stimming, right? So self-stimulatory behavior that can look like hand flapping, making sounds, holding certain objects, things that maybe bring comfort to some people.
And it, one of the things I think is that it's not just for the autism community. Everyone stims. And if you were to put an individual in a room with very limited stimuli, like a white room, everyone would start doing these stims.
Yeah,
like
we
would
bounce our leg, we play with our hair,
and we
click
do
our
them.
pens. Absolutely, we do. We do.
So stimming is for everybody.
Stimming is for everybody. And I think that even when those stims maybe look different than they do for maybe you and me, it's really about that person's choice. Yeah. If they want to engage in that and that gives them comfort, that gives them some sort of input that feels good, as long as we're not hurting ourselves or other people, I think that that's probably a fine thing to do. In the past, though, I think there has been a push to not do any stimming at all, right?
Well, I think that comes back to the variable of acceptance and neurodiverse affirming care and more. Autism Speaks has done a good job of really getting just more information out there, and Autism Awareness Day. And, I think as society accepts more, I think it's a good thing. I think when you look back 50 years and you saw someone stimming, there was a era of confusion around what is going on with this individual in the grocery store who is flapping and jumping. Now there is awareness and people are like, he's just grooving and stimming and it's great,
And he's fine as long as he's safe.
Yeah, as long as he's safe. And and I think we all do have stems. And
Absolutely,
I think
we do.
it's fascinating to kind of study your own stems.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's why sometimes things like toys and desk toys and things really work to help with focus, is because, you have extra energy and it's a good thing.